Hey guys, it's Lori. Thought I'd hop on real quick and give you my stats real quick, and then I'm going to do Kathy's tag questions. And I haven't seen any of those yet. What's going on? Let's begin some of those tags done. I want to know about you guys. Alright, so that glare behind me is really bad, isn't it? Let me turn you. Let me see if I can scoot around here a little bit. I hate having stuff on my fridge. I always notice that if I'm turned this way. I don't mind my magnets, but I don't like stuff on the front. It just looks cluttery. But that's my son's Academic Achievement Award back there. And the stuff down on the bottom is Hayden's pictures and a card with his name on it so he can learn to spell that. Stats. VLCD 2. And I was down, you ready for this? 0.2. Yay! 0.2. What? Yeah, I was down 0.2. But you got to remember, I'm doing an experiment here, so I can't necessarily expect typical results. I'm not bothered by it a bit. I'm really not. Another thing is that Tom showed up last night. It's only VLCD 2, so I'm not going to skip my injections. And that's pretty typical for me. Tom shows up every single time I start a round. In fact, when I was doing my very first week of P2 for this experiment that I'm doing, Tom showed up on the day of the full moon. So, yeah, I lived through it. But anyway, okay, so I was only down 0.2 today, you guys. Now I'm going to go right straight into the tag. Kathy, KB, doing HCG 1, has put out a tag video for us to do. So I am going to link down below to the video where she does her tag, and all the questions are listed under that video. Maybe I'll go ahead and list the questions under this one too, but I am going to put a link to her video so you can go see all of her answers. Number 1, name, age, and YouTube channel. Well, first of all, my YouTube channel is right below this video, but sometimes it's nice to hear it spoken so you know how it's intended to be pronounced. My YouTube channel name is Fluffy No Mo. Fluffy No More. And I guess I was thinking positive when I chose that name, right? So, anyway, my name is Lori. Actually, my real name is Laura, but everybody has always called me Lori. Lori Sue. I'm 46. I'll be 47 in September. Alright, what kind of HCG do you use is number 2. Injections. Hucock to be specific. If that's not available, or if something else is cheaper like Corian or Ovadac, I'll use that. Or there's a couple other kinds too. I've also used the kind from China that's kind of like a generic brand, I guess. I don't know, the label's ripped off. But I did a pregnancy test on it and it was positive, so I used it and it was fine. Anyway, I've actually done a round with pellets too, and I've done, my first 2 rounds were sublingual RX, and my preferred method is definitely injections. So, number 3, round and stats. Well, I'm experimenting at the present time, so I guess if I was going to say what number round this is, I probably would have to say round 6, I guess. I've completed 5, so I actually reached my goal in 2 rounds, but anyway, I gave you my stats at the beginning, so that's covered. Actually, one of my rounds was an experiment for Del Mem. I guess I'm allowed to tell you that. I'm not going to tell you which round it was, though. But it wasn't the first or the second, I can tell you that. But he knew I was already planning on doing a round, and he knew that, so he asked me if I'd do an experiment during my round, and I did, and it was pretty successful. He asked me not to tell in public on my vlogs that I was doing it, and so I didn't. But anyway, I had pretty good results from it. Phenomenal fat loss, fat percent. So anyway, it was a success. John did the experiment for him too, and it was successful. But this isn't about John. This is about me. All about me. All right, number 4. The first vlog I came across, Mama Clock. I got curious about HCG and did a Google search, and Mama Clock was in the first few results. YouTube channel, and I was like, oh, YouTube. Never even occurred to me to check YouTube. So anyway, yeah, Mama Clock. Pop or mop is number 5. Well, I'm definitely a pop promoter. I try to be pop on all my rounds, but I have done a couple of rounds where Well, I'm going to say one of my rounds was really mop because John and I were doing it together. Not that that has anything to do with it, but we added in broccoli, zucchini, um, what else? Cooked with coconut oil. Nothing major. That's about it, really. Oh, and my pellet round 3 was like a big fat cheater round, so I lost like 4 pounds, something like that. But that was because I just didn't even want to do it. I was already at my goal. I didn't even care about it. The only reason I did it was because John was doing his first round and he wanted me to do it with him. So anyway, something you couldn't do without on P2 is number 6. I don't know, because I mean, everything I use on P2 is pretty much stuff I use every day. I mean, there's a lot of things I use every day that I don't use on P2, but what could I not live without? I guess I'd have to say Tony Chachere's. I like my food spicy when I'm on VLCDs. It seems like it's more satisfying. Helps me get the water down. So, Tony Chachere's. It's really good stuff. It's a spicy seasoning, in case you wondered, or in case you don't know. Number 7. Something that surprised you about doing HCG. Well, the thing that surprised me initially was simply the fact that it worked. You know, like, yay, this works. I figured, you know, I'm going to be that one person it doesn't work for. Then I'm going to be so embarrassed because I already started vlogging. But anyway, I was surprised that it worked, you know. Another thing that I was really surprised about was on P3, the body shifting that goes on in P3. Your fat like moves around. Your body shifts around in P3. So I'm glad I didn't like go out and buy a whole new wardrobe as soon as I was finished with P2, because they might not have fit after P3, you know. Okay, number 8, what would you tell a newbie? Read pounds and inches. Follow it like it's the Bible. The HCG Bible. I would tell them that. I would tell them, probably tell them not to expect your first week releases to continue. Don't get discouraged when they get smaller, and just keep your eye on the average. Number 9 is, what 3 people would you tell a newbie to go watch? Mom Clock, SoCal Plum, they are pop, they are good, they are inspiring, they are still maintaining to this day. Definitely Mama Clock and SoCal Plum. The third one would have to be HCG Chica, because she has so many resources beyond the actual protocol. I'd have to say HCG Chica. Number 10, what do you do in your spare time? What's that? Okay, what do I do in my spare time? Well, I don't ever watch TV, so that's like a brainwashing negativity box full of drama and body image distortion and false advertisement and crap. Okay, so that's what I don't do. It's not against my religion. It's not, you know, I'm not necessarily opposed to having a TV, but if I lived here by myself, I wouldn't even have one because I don't care about it. I like my Reiki and dowsing, like that. I really love to read. Love to read. I have a hard time reading things like educational books or self-help books, stuff like I have a really hard time getting into stuff like that, like Weight Loss Apocalypse. I've had Weight Loss Apocalypse on my Kindle forever, and I've never been able to get into reading it. I prefer something like supernatural, you know, like a fantasy world that I can escape into. That's the kind of stuff I like to read. So, do you want to know like some of the stuff that's on my Kindle? I can show you, or tell you, I should say. Maybe you don't want to know. It's getting kind of long, isn't it? I'm going to tell you anyway, so you can shut me off if you don't want to know. And if you want to shut me off, then see ya. Okay, let me see. I got my Kindle on my phone, so I'll just look at that. Right now, currently, I'm reading 2 different books. The Magic, it's a book from The Secret by Rhonda Byrne, and Finding Your Voice by G. Brian Benson. And I'm having a little bit of a hard time getting into that one. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know. Okay, we've got The Witches of Santa Ana. That's a series. Almost all of what I have on here is series. I love series. The Morganville Vampire series. The House of Night series. I don't have the Twilight series on my Kindle, but I do own it. in actual real books. And no, that wasn't my favorite vampire series. Not at all. Morganville Vampires and House of Night, Black Dagger Brotherhood series. I have that on here. Those three were my very favorite vampire series. I have 50 Shades of Grey series, a Modern Witch series, the Charlene Harris books, the Sookie Stackhouse books. Those are the HBO series True Blood. That's what that's based on. I've read all of those. And the Vampire Diaries, I have those on here, and I've read almost all of them. I got a little bored with those towards the end. You could watch the Vampire Diaries or True Blood, either one, on TV, and still read the books, and one would not spoil the other because they're just different enough, you know. Anyway, the Portal Chronicles, that was really good. That's about time travel. A Shade of Vampire, The Shadow Vampires. I don't even remember that one. It must not have been one of those I got into. The Help. I have The Help on here. Bram Stoker's Dracula. I have the Holy Bible on here. I haven't scrolled up to it yet, but I know I have that on here. I have a bunch of free cookbooks that I've gotten on Kindle or on Amazon when they're free. And my all-time favorite series ever is not on my Kindle. I have the whole set of books, the whole set of movies. Harry Potter. Harry Potter. Alright. Now that you know all my tag answers and then some, and this got really long, I'm going to go edit the crap out of this to cut some time off. And that's it for now. See ya.